the evening. And this session is presented by Khadijah Phillips. Just to tell you all a little bit about who she is, I'm also proud to present her because she's one of the Swagger team members. But Khadijah is a highly driven woman who was born to break barriers. She proves that when powered by purpose, women are unstoppable. She's built her storied life and career brick by brick, fighting fears, failures, and setbacks to have the success she's always known was hers to claim. Today, she personifies what it means to ascend above adversity while inspiring countless others to do the same through her media company and strategic partnerships. You can follow her on Instagram at Besties Media and check out her website, bestiesmedia.com. So, without further ado, let me add her to the stage. Okay, 1 second.
Here we go. Hello. Thank you,
Huge.
Fancy.
You're welcome. It's all yours.
All right. So I hope everybody is loving the conference so far. I've been taking a lot of notes. I'm super excited to be here. I am a serial entrepreneur, a mother of 6 beautiful children, 2 of which are on the autism spectrum. So I kind of had to work for myself in order to be able to take care of them. I won't be before you long. I just want to talk to you about something that you guys may have heard about, which is podcasting, but just as a marketing tool for your business and another way to amplify your brand and establish yourself as a thought leader and expert in your respective niche. Now, I know a lot of you are probably like, I have a lot on my plate already. I can't add anything on. So you don't necessarily have to start your own podcast, but I definitely think you should start interviewing on podcasts because, like we talked about in our very first session, you want to create strategic partnerships and align collaborators because you'll have an opportunity to position yourself as an expert and build trust with not only your audience, but the audience that others have built surrounding your niche. Story sells, so people want to hear your story. They want to hear where you came from, as well as what you have to offer them. So we all know that you don't want to just constantly bombard people with sales. You want to be able to tell your story. And podcasting and interviewing on podcasts are one way that you can do that not many people are doing. And when I was researching this, I found out that the number of podcast listeners is expected to grow to over 465 million by the end of 2023. And the revenue from those podcasts is expected to surpass $2 billion. $2 billion, not million, $2 billion. So I'm proposing that you get a piece of the pie. It's not that you have to get in front of all those billions of people. If you just get 10% of that, you're doing really well. It's another way to generate traffic to your website. So while you're talking on your podcast or interviewing on another podcast, you're going to be referring back to your website. You're going to be making offers similar to what everyone has done here tonight. You're going to tell your story, you're going to talk about your offer, and then you're going to refer people back to your website. You will give them a special code so that you can identify where the people are coming from. But again, it's another way to establish your brand and build your brand. One other thing that you can get with of the benefit of podcasting is sponsorships. It's similar to, again, aligned partnerships. If your audience is valuable to someone else, like the bigger companies, they are going to pay you for a spot on your podcast. So let's just say you are a makeup artist, but you don't have your own makeup line. Well, the makeup brands are going to reach out to you because they want to put their brand in front of your audience. And that's another way to add additional money, another income stream in your pocket. And also you're still showing off your expertise in makeup and whatever your brand is. Another way is it'll grow your social media presence. A lot of people have a hard time, building a brand on social media right now. The algorithm, isn't favoring you if you aren't paying for ads, which makes sense. You're on their platform. They want you to pay, but you can use a podcast to generate traffic to your social media pages. So while you're on your podcast or while you're on someone else's podcast, you're going to be referring them to your social media pages. You're going to be offering, whether it's a free checklist, a workbook, or whatever you have to offer to get them over to your social media page. Like we talked about with Keep, you can do that. You can send them to a landing page, and on the landing page, you can have a little button that says, join our free Facebook group. But you have an opportunity to talk to more people because your videos are going to they have a longer life online on YouTube than just a regular post. Um, and then you're going to be interviewing guests. You don't have to. You can do the podcast yourself. But I suggest bringing people on, because what's going to happen when you bring a person onto your podcast? They're going to invite all of their family, all their friends, their customers, their potential customers, their network, to watch them interview on your podcast. And now these are people that you probably never would have been in front of before. And now you have an opportunity to expose those people to your brand, and tell them about what you have to offer and just who you are, just your story in general. You can use your podcast to discuss current and relevant topics. Um, you can use your podcast to do book reviews. You can use your podcast to do a review for your book if you're an author. These are all ways that you can use podcasting to grow your business. And the best part about it is it's a very low cost to do this. For the most part, you can almost do this for free. But there is a cost associated with hosting the platform. But there are a lot of ways that you can get this done for less than $100 and maximize your growth and your reach, um, just by telling your story, just by reaching out to different podcasts, especially the startup brands. What we do on our podcast is we try to start with people, entrepreneurs that are starting out, and then we bring them back on as we follow their growth. And people love to see it. It inspires them. And because a lot of what we do is in the virtual event space and podcasting space, they're like, hey, can you tell me more about podcasting? And these are people that I would have never met, especially without, using ads and just doing it all through organic growth. And like I said earlier, we're all entrepreneurs. Um, we all have a lot on our plate. And so I imagine that you probably don't have the time or energy to put into a new venture like podcasting. So you can do, like I said, you can do guest spots on other podcasts. Fancy at Swagger Magazine, we have advertising that you can use on our podcast. You can come in, you can interview, and it's quick and it's simple. You can take those clips, you can put it on YouTube Shorts. They're really powerful right now because they're new. So they're being put in front of more people than if you put an hour-long podcast. And that in itself is a powerful marketing tool because it's free. It's 100% free. And those videos last a long time. Have you ever searched something on YouTube and the video that you search is from 3 years ago? You're not getting that anywhere. You're not getting that on Facebook. You're not getting that on Instagram. And half the time, once you post a reel, it's going in 24 hours. So I just really want you guys to take advantage of the power of podcasting to amplify your brand, amplify your business. Reach out to Fancy because we do have spots available for interviews. You can reach me at Khadija@bestiesmedia.com if you're ready to start your podcast. We produce your podcast for you. So all you have to do is show up and look pretty, tell your story. We help you find guests to interview. And if you're interested in a virtual event similar to what we're doing here tonight, our company does that as well. So like I said, I wasn't going to be before you long. I just want you guys to take another look at podcasting as a way to market your business and to grow your brand. Thank you. I'll put my email in the chat and also a link to my calendar if you want to do a free consultation.
Okay, and I'll show that as well. And Khadijah, you had excuse me, you had two questions from Facebook. One of
Okay.
those was what podcast topics are most popular?
Well, it really depends. Right now, a lot of people are even making jokes about the male podcasts that are basically bashing women. So it really depends on what you're into. So there are podcasts about Dungeons and Dragons. There are podcasts about books. There are podcasts about hair. There are podcasts about business. So really, the most popular podcast is the one that you start around your niche, and then you just get your people to watch what you're offering. So I suggest, if you are, let's say you're a content creator, then you will find someone that's similar, not necessarily doing the same thing like we talked about earlier, that just kind of align with what you're doing, and hook up with them, get on their show. Because right now it really all depends. There are billions of podcasts. Podcasts are being started every day. And like we talked about, Fancy, people don't keep up with it. So it really all depends on what you're interested in. Literally, like there are podcasts where people are eating food and eating ice. So, and they're
Wow.
making money.
Okay. I hadn't saw those, but that is I do believe it's out there. And then the second question is, what is the best way to recruit people to be interviewed? And also she also said that she can help you all with that. I just want to note that too. But okay.
Um, so for me, I start by building an email list. So if let's just say one of our podcasts was business related. So I might offer like a checklist, top 5 ways to, maximize social media or something like that. Once I get them on the email list, then I'll start emailing them. Hey, we have a podcast. It's called, you know, Besties Building Brands, and we would love to, have your business come on. Send me your bio and so on and so forth. Once I read over the bio, then we will move forward if they're aligned with our business. And yes, Teresa, eating ice. I watch the Eating Ice podcast. I watch podcasts with people parting hair to go to sleep. Literally, they're just parting hair and picking dandruff. I know that sounds gross, but those people have millions of views, millions, not thousands, millions of views. So definitely get into it.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Khadijah. This has been very enlightening and just very informative, especially with those numbers. Like I've been podcasting for some time, but I hadn't just looked at like what the outcome, because it's still so new and there's so much potential out there. But I know that that's another reason why they encourage us, especially as people of color, to join this movement, because there needs to be more black and brown podcasts as well. So thank you, y'all. And I'm going to I hope that answered you all's questions. If not, Khadijah, you can hop on the Facebook and finish speaking with them. But I'm gonna go ahead on and end this session and then introduce our next speaker. So y'all can stay tuned and just follow us to the next live. Thank